Now let's conclude this topic with the different pathways of breaking down of glucose. And here the glucose is the end product of digestive system, and this glucose is oxidized to release energy, right? In this process, there's a first step, glycolysis takes place, and the end product of this glycolysis, pyruvate. So the fate of the pyruvate is decided by the presence of oxygen or absence of oxygen. The presence of oxygen is nothing but aerobic respiration, and the absence of oxygen is nothing but anaerobic respiration. And here in the aerobic respiration takes place in mitochondria, and the carbon dioxide is released along with water and energy. And here the complete oxidation takes place, and as a result of it, 38 ATP molecules are produced. And whereas in anaerobic respiration, incomplete oxidation takes place. So if this anaerobic respiration in yeast, if it takes place, the end product will be ethanol and then carbon dioxide and energy. And here only 2 ATP molecules are produced. And the same thing, the anaerobic respiration in animals, if it takes place, it gives lactic acid and energy. And here also only 2 ATP molecules are produced. This happens in human muscle cells when they do vigorous physical exercises and they run for a long distance. They run for a long time, and it happens here. So this is what we saw. Here is the difference between aerobic respiration and anaerobic respiration. The respiration takes place in the presence of oxygen, it is aerobic respiration. So anaerobic respiration takes place in the absence of oxygen. And here in aerobic respiration, complete oxidation takes place, and here incomplete oxygen takes place. The end product, that is the energy, the idea is releasing energy, and 38 molecules are produced, and as there is complete oxidation takes place, 38 ATP molecules are produced here, whereas in anaerobic respiration only 2 ATP molecules are produced. Why? Because incomplete oxidation takes place there. So apart from this ATP molecule, that is end product, and CO2, carbon dioxide, water are also produced. And if anaerobic respiration takes place in plants, that is yeast, the product is ethyl alcohol or ethanol. And if anaerobic respiration takes place in muscle cells, it gives lactic acid along and then carbon dioxide. And this aerobic respiration occurs in most plants and animals, and anaerobic respiration takes place in some bacteria, worms and human muscle cells during vigorous exercise. So we saw because of that only we get muscle cramp. We also saw how we can get rid of the muscle cramp, right? And here in the this aerobic respiration, a part of aerobic respiration takes place in cytoplasm. We saw that is glycolysis, that is the first step. The rest of the steps or the process takes place in mitochondria. And here the whole process, that is the complete process, takes place only in cytoplasm. Now you understood the difference between aerobic and anaerobic respiration. Now let's see what is this energy that has been obtained by the process of respiration used for. First one, let's see. Synthesis of large molecules from smaller ones. Example, you can say amino acid. Amino acids are the smaller ones which is used to make the larger molecules called protein. So for which we need energy. The next one is growth and repair of cells. So we need energy for the building of the body as well as repair the damaged cells. Next one, allowing chemical reactions to take place inside the body. There are so many chemical reactions are taking place inside our body. The one example you can tell, just now we saw the respiration. The respiration itself is a chemical reaction where the oxidation of food takes place, and then the chemical reaction of hormones, the chemical reaction of enzymes, all those things we need energy. Next one is maintain the body temperature for warm-blooded animals like mammals and birds. So warm-blooded animals are the animals which need to maintain the body temperature, constant body temperature. Okay, whereas the cold-blooded animals body temperature varies based on the environment, and whereas the warm-blooded animals for maintaining the body temperature they need energy. Next, the movement of animals. There are many movements takes place inside our body, inside the cell itself. That is the movements of molecules, and there are some other physical movements are also taking place in animals. That is walking, running, jumping, and working. So many physical activities are taken place. So for all those things we need energy. Next one is message transfer through nerves. So nerves are the messengers. They take messages. They take message from sense organs to brain. From the brain they bring order. They bring orders to the effectors and then sense organs. Again it brings the sense organs. Where the effectors act according to the order by the brain. Okay, so for all these things to transfer the messages also we need energy. Now let's see the respiration in plants. Like any other organism, plants also need energy. How do they get energy? They to get energy by the process of respiration. What do you mean by respiration? The process of releasing energy from the food is called respiration. What is food? Glucose is the food. Which has been obtained by the process of photosynthesis. The food is oxidized in the presence of oxygen and releases carbon dioxide, water and energy. This energy is used for various life processes and activities. For example, movement of molecules in the cells and growth of the plant, conduction of water, conduction of food and repairing the cells. For all these things, energy is used. And how do the plants get oxygen for the oxidation of food? They get oxygen from the atmosphere. Oxygen is present in the atmosphere. They take in from the atmosphere. Same way, after the respiration, they leave out carbon dioxide. So this exchanging of gases takes place during respiration. So you know that there are two gases involved in the process of respiration, that is oxygen and carbon dioxide. They are respiratory gases. Oxygen and carbon dioxide are respiratory gases. How do they get this oxygen and carbon dioxide? How do they get oxygen? How do they leave out carbon dioxide? This process is called diffusion. So the plants get oxygen and leave out carbon dioxide through the process of diffusion. What do you mean by diffusion? Yeah, the movement of molecules from higher concentration to lower concentration is called diffusion. And here concentration of oxygen is more in the atmosphere. So from the higher concentration to lower concentration, oxygen is diffused in. And same way, concentration of carbon dioxide is more in plant and less in atmosphere. So the carbon dioxide diffused out. So through the diffusion, process of diffusion, the exchanging of gases takes place. We saw in the animals there is separate respiratory unit for the respiration, for exchanging of gases, because there the respiratory gases have to be transported from top to bottom, and every part of the cell it has to reach. So it takes a long distance, so for which they need separate respiratory unit. But in plants, the plants have a branching shape, so it gives a very large surface area. So all the plants, they have the branching shape. So all the parts of the plant are exposed to the atmosphere. So all the parts of the plant perform individually. Okay, so there are three main parts of the plant, that is leaves, stem and root. So leaves also respire individually, and the stems they respire individually, and roots also they respire individually. See, if you take leaves, they have tiny pores on the surface of the leaves. So you can see this pores. This is stomata. These tiny pores are called stomata. You can see this is open stomata. This is closed stomata. So through these pores, the gases are exchanged. So the oxygen diffuses inside the leaf and it reaches all the cells in the leaf. And same way, in the stems also, there are two types of stem. That is, one is herbaceous stem. Herbaceous means the stem of herb, which are very soft in nature. And then woody stems. So big and strong plants, if you take, they have the woody stem. So the herbaceous stem are green in color. They have stomata. So herbaceous stem respire through stomata. Exchanging of gases takes place through stomata. And whereas the woody stem have lenticels. So the lenticels are loosely packed. They are porous tissue. They are so you can see this pores. You can find this pores on the bark of the tree, woody stem. So through this pores, the gases are exchanged, and the oxygen diffuses in, and from there it reaches all the cells of the stem. This is how the exchanging of gases takes place. And coming to this root, so the root have, you know, this is a primary root, secondary root. From the secondary root you can see this air like structure. This is root hair. So we have magnified this root hair. You can see these are the root hair. So root hair have a single cell wall, so through which diffusion will be very easy. So the root hair or the extension of epidermal cells. They are the extension of epidermal cells. So they are in direct contact with the or air in the soil. So the air is present in between the soil particle, and from there the air diffuses inside the root air. So from the root air it reaches the other parts of the root. That is how all the cells in the root get oxygen for respiration. Same way, carbon dioxide is also diffused out after the respiration. Now you understood how the plants respire. Plants also respire to get energy, and in the process of respiration, food is oxidized with the help of oxygen. Oxygen is obtained from the atmosphere, and different parts of the plant respire individually. Is it clear? We saw the exchanging of gases in plants takes place through the process of diffusion. What decides the direction of diffusion? There are two factors. They are environmental conditions. The other one is requirement of the plant. Here when we talk about environmental condition, one is daytime, another one is nighttime. Now let's see what are the processes are taking place during daytime. During daytime there are two processes are taking place. The main, that is photosynthesis What happens during photosynthesis? The plants prepare food. So they use carbon dioxide, water in the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll. It produces glucose and oxygen. And the next process is respiration. What happens during respiration? Food is oxidized. What is the food? This is the food. Glucose is a food which has been obtained by the process of photosynthesis. And it is oxidized in the presence of oxygen and produces carbon dioxide plus water and energy. And here the oxygen produced during photosynthesis is used up by the plant during respiration. And same way, the carbon dioxide produced during respiration is used by the plant during photosynthesis. So the amount of oxygen produced during photosynthesis is less used by the plant during respiration, whereas the amount of carbon dioxide used by the plant during photosynthesis is more. In addition to this, they also take from environment. But here the plants take less oxygen for respiration and the remaining it diffuses out. So we can say in better way, one process is respiration, other one is photosynthesis. Okay, so here the product of photosynthesis is used by the respiration. What is the product? Oxygen is the product. The product of respiration is used by the photosynthesis. What is that? Carbon dioxide. So the net gas exchange in leaves during daytime is oxygen diffuses out. Oxygen is diffused out and carbon dioxide diffused in. Is it clear? So now this is regarding daytime. Now night time, what happens? Night time, no photosynthesis because no sunlight, no photosynthesis, whereas respiration takes place throughout the life, right? So even night the respiration takes place. So for respiration they need oxygen. They take, so the plant take and take what do they need? What do the plants need for respiration? They need oxygen from, they take oxygen from atmosphere or the environment. So the oxygen is taken from environment, and also as a byproduct during respiration the plant leaves out more carbon dioxide. So the net gas exchange during night time is ulta. Carbon dioxide diffused in, carbon dioxide diffused out and oxygen from the atmosphere is diffused in. So this is how, so the requirement of the plant means, So during night time, no photosynthesis, so no requirement of the carbon dioxide. And here the requirement of oxygen only is more during night time. So the two factors that decides the diffusion of gases. Now let's see respiration in unicellular organisms. So animals like amoeba and paramecium depend on simple diffusion for breathing. They take oxygen that is dissolved in water. So these animals like amoeba and paramecium live in water. And because of the concentration difference between the water and the amoeba, the oxygen gets diffused through cell membrane or the plasma membrane. So plasma membrane is a semi-permeable membrane which allows some materials to get inside and some materials to go outside. So as it is a semi-permeable membrane, it allows the oxygen to get diffused inside. And as the volume of the amoeba is very less, the diffused oxygen gets spread into the whole body of the amoeba. And here the respiration takes place. After the respiration, carbon dioxide is released. That carbon dioxide gets diffused outside into the water. So this is how exchanging of gases takes place in amoeba. Same way, even in paramecium also, the diffusion helps to obtain oxygen and leave out carbon dioxide.